Okay, so just to continue, we are now getting the sixth decile. So by computing, we will be getting the item on the 7.2 position. Okay, and how will we solve for that? This will become, of course, we will get the whole number for the 7 or the 7th position. That's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is 22. And then you need to add, the decimal is 0.2. And then multiply it by the difference of these two numbers. And that's 24 minus 22. Okay, one of your classmates already sent the answer. For the rest, kindly solve for this. What is 22 plus 0.2 times 24 minus 22? Of course, you need to subtract this first. Then multiply by 0.2 and then add 22. Type the answer in the chat box, please. Okay, very good. That's it. Okay, so therefore we will be having here, we will be getting 22.4. And this will be your sixth decile. Okay, so therefore, if we will look at this, the 7.2, that's 1, 2, 3. I'll erase this now. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.2. It's somewhere here between 22 and 4. So therefore, our sixth decile will be equal to 22.4. So for us to interpret this similarly with how we interpreted the other one, there you go. So we have here, therefore, we can say that there are 60%. Okay, let me rephrase it. Okay. 60% of the learners got scores lower than 22.4. Okay, that's it. Show me a reaction if that process is clear. Very good. O, ganun lang siya kasimple. That's how it works. Got it? That is for the deciles of the ungrouped data. And a while ago, I told you that actually they are just the same with the percentile. Just that in the deciles, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But for the percentile, it's from 1 to 100 naman. Okay? So what is the formula? And also, one thing that you need to consider, look at this. For the deciles, your denominator here should always be 10 because you only have 10 deciles. Can you follow? 10 parts for your deciles. Show me a reaction if that's clear. That is for the decile. Show me a reaction, please, if that's clear. Okay, good. Now, if I will ask you, if we will now be solving on the percentiles of the ungrouped data, what do you think? Actually, we will be using the same format for the formula, but what will be the denominator of your common formula? What do you think will be the denominator of your common formula if we will be solving for the percentile? Okay, type it in the chat box, please. Very good. See, I'm just letting you see the differences of each formula, so that you will not be you will not feel dizzy with all the formulas that we will be encountering. If we will now be looking for the percentile, take note of this. Our denominator here will become 100. So therefore, this will become, if we are looking for the 20th percentile, this will be 20 times n plus 1 over 100. That's it. And that is the difference between the decile formulas and the percentile formulas. Show me a reaction if that's clear to you. Okay, very good. See? Okay. You're now loving the process. Okay. Let me just retain this given, and then I'll just change everything. Okay, wait lang. Because now, after deciles, we will now be moving on with our percentile. But I will retain this set of given just to see if we will get the same answer, if we will get the 20th and the 60th percentile. Okay. Erase, erase. Okay. So let me now erase this, remove this, of course this and this. And I will be changing it with the percentiles of ungrouped data.
So from here, I now would like to present to you. Last time you saw the countries in the South Asia, and this time here are the countries in the Western
Yan,
part
percentiles of ungrouped data. And just like what I presented to you a while ago, we will just have the same pattern for the formula, same process for the solution, just that in here we will be dealing with 100 value. Okay. So in here, let me just change our given. I will now remove this. Calculate the 20th. Let me erase this. Calculate the 20th. Ay, dapat white. Meron bang white? Ay, there's no white. Dito na lang. 20th. This is just to check if we will get the same value. The 60th. Kasi since the start of our discussion, I've been presenting to you the connection between the three: quartile, percentile, and decile. 60th percentile. Ayan. Okay? So, the same process. Let's now get the 20th percentile. So, using the same formula, make sure that when we are dealing with the percentile, the denominator will be 100.
So this is it.
Okay. So this will be our 20th percentile. Since we are solving for the 20th, we need to multiply it by 2. 20th. I mean, sorry, it's not 2, it's 20. Okay, for the 20th percentile. So, shall we start now? And then later here, for the 60th percentile, of course, we need to multiply it by 60. Okay. So, can we already start counting here, or we need to do something first? Anyone? Can we already start the solution here, or we need to do something first with our set of data? Very good. Sort it out first po. Correct. Don't forget that, huh? So therefore, when we sort it out, this will become, the first one will be 10, followed by 12, followed by 14, followed by 15, followed by 16, 18, 22, 24, 27, 29, and 30. That's it. Okay, so let me just verify. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, now that we already have arranged our set of given, we can now proceed with our solution. For us to solve this will become 20 times n plus 1, that's 11 over 100. Uy, iba to. Because this is 11 over 100 term. O, sige. What's the answer, please? What's the answer here? Okay. Are you sure it's 2.4? Okay. Make sure you press it properly in the calculator, huh? Let's wait for the rest if you got the same answer. Okay. Show me a reaction if you got the same answer, which is 2.4. Sir, bakit po 11? Ay, sorry. It's 11. Ay, oo nga pala. 11 plus 1. Sorry, it's 12. Sorry. It's 12. Thank you for the correction. Kasi n plus 1, that's 12. Sorry. Okay, that's it. Oh, press it again. 12 over 100. 12 over 100 times 20. Kindly press it if we will get the same answer. Sorry for that. I pressed the wrong answer. Okay. Okay, so they are now getting the same answer, which is 2.4. Sila tama kasi yung sinolve nila sa papers nila. Very good. Okay, so therefore we will get here the item on the 2.4 position, because I don't know how to read 2.4th. Maybe 2.4th item. 2.44th item. Ayan. So after that, of course, let's just get our 2, which is the second item, which is 12. And then add it with the 0.4 of the difference of the following numbers, which are 14 minus 12. So therefore, the answer here will be, type the answer in the chat box, please. Our 20th percentile will be, type it in the chat box. Very good. What about the rest? Good. Oops. Kindly press it properly. 14 minus 12, that's 2. 2 times 0.4 is just 0.8. So that's 12 plus 0.8. The answer will be 12.8. That's it. So this is our P20, or the 20th percentile, meaning that therefore we can say that 20% of the learners scored lower than 12.8. Got it? Show me a reaction if that's clear. Show me a reaction, please. Okay, you see the connection of the percentile and the decile. We use different formulas, but we arrived at the same answer, right? Very good. So therefore, we can say here, since the 20th percentile is somewhere over here in between, so therefore it's 12.8. This is our 20th percentile. Let me just highlight it. Okay, that's it. Okay. Now let's move on with the 60th percentile. For the 60th percentile, you know the process. All we have to do is to substitute. Kindly ready your calculators to check if we will get the same answer. 60 times 11 plus 1 over 100. Press it in your calculator, please. Okay na? Okay, so your classmates got 7.2. So we will get here the 7 point second. The item on the 7.2 position. O yun na lang. 7.2. 7 point second. I'm not familiar with this. because this is seldom used, 7-point-second or 7-point-tooth item. But what's clear here is the item on the 7.2 position. Yun, that's better. Okay, 7.2. 7-point-second siguro yun. Okay? So therefore, we will have here, what is the seventh term? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 22. And then we need to add it with the 0.2 times the difference of the 24 minus 22. Okay, go. Kindly solve for the 60th percentile of this given. Okay. Very good. Good. I'm happy that you're getting the process. So the answer here is 22.4. So this is our 60th percentile. Okay. So therefore, we can conclude here that 60% of the learners got scores lower than 22.4. Okay. So looking at here, the position is at 7.2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.2 right there. And that is 22.4. And that is your 60th percentile. Got it? Show me a reaction if that's clear to you. Show me a reaction if that's clear. Very good. Okay, so now you see the connection between deciles and percentiles. And similarly with quartile as well. If you want to solve for the third quartile, example, third quartile, in the quartile kasi there are different cases pa eh. But actually, if you will just solve it using percentile, just get the 75th percentile using this process and you will arrive at the same answer. You will get the third quartile of your given, right? Okay. So again, whichever is easier for you, you follow that. Okay. There may be a slight difference. That's normal because of the difference in the process. But what's important is you are around that value. Show me a reaction if that's clear. Okay, very good. So that's it. Paulit-ulit lang yon for the deciles and the percentiles. Now let's move on with our a little exciting process, a little longer, but actually it's easy. The deciles of the grouped data. Okay. And how is that? It's just actually similar with what we had last week in the quartile. We need to come up with a frequency distribution table, FDT. We need to come up with an FDT for us to solve this. Okay. So I hope you are still familiar with this formula. Here. So for the deciles of the group data, we will be needing this formula. And this is just the same with the quartiles. Okay. R in here, R represents the R here and the R there represents whatever decile number you are solving for. If you are solving for the 9th decile, so R will be equal to 9. If you are solving for the 5th decile, R will be equal to 5. If you are solving for the 3rd decile, your R will be equal to 3. Got it? Okay. Next, what else should we learn here? LBDC, the lower bound, that's that's also easy. We will do this later. Sum of the frequencies, the total. Cumulative frequency, yung mas mababa. Frequency of the decimal class, and then the class interval. We already did this, but of course, for us to recall the process, we need to have an example. Okay? And this time, the process will be a lot easier because we need not to do the preliminaries of making the FDT kasi we are already given the what do you call this? The data. Let's take a look at this example. Here. So in this example, we have the following table shows the weight in kilograms of 50 high school students. This time, the number of learners are already big, or the number of data is already big because mas marami na. And if we will be using the ungrouped data, that's quite confusing kasi upon the good if you are using Excel, no problem. But if you are doing manually, arranging or sorting the data will be a lot difficult. Kasi you might forget or skip a number which should be in a specific position. Okay? So the best way for us to solve or organize our grouped data or numbers data with bigger numbers is by using the grouped data. Okay? And this is just easy, don't worry. So let's have this. These are the weights in kilograms of our of these learners. Okay? And so let's now have this. Let me just take this. Okay, para shortcut tayo, I will just be rewriting this like that. Okay, para automatic na tayo. So I just wrote it just like this. And the next one to do is the class boundaries. Class boundaries. Okay? And the class boundaries, you know it. It's a whole number and then mag-less tayo ng 0.5 and then add 0.5 to the other one. So therefore, this will become 39.5 to add 0.5 naman to the other. 42.5, right? Okay. Next, 42.5. Just do this. Minus 45 to 45.5. Next, 45.5 to 48.5. Next, 48.5 to 51.5. Next, 51.5 to 54.5. You know this process. Next, 54.5 to 57.5. Next, 57.5 to 60.5. Next, 60.5 to 63.5. And finally, 63.5 to 66.5. Okay, that's it. And by the way, don't forget your summation of the frequencies. 1, 2, 4, 7, 13, 20, 35, 35 plus 15, 50. So that's tama. Is equal to 50. And then, after that, in here, our cumulative frequency, CF, we add from start going to the last. That's the cumulative frequency. Okay, so we will have here 1, 2, 4, 7, 13, 20.
So
Next,
I have
35,
let me don't put down your
followed by 43,
let me
and then 50. So if this one and this one matched, that means you have made the correct computation for your cumulative frequency. Okay, take note of that. That's one palatandaan if you are doing the right process. Okay, and after that, let's just find the ABC. And you know that ABC? The ABC are the following values.
as mentioned by your classmates, the structures which you can see in the western part of Asia. And
Oh,
I
let
had a
yung
video
A here.
intended to show that to you because it says something. It says something. No, look at what happened in our class today. When I said whose
Ayan.
relatives,
Okay.
who
So
among
let's get first this one.
working
Let me
in
just
West
put this
Asia.
here.
And at first, no one raised their hands. But when I
Just for
already
my
mentioned
palatandaan.
Middle
Okay,
East
letter A.
countries in particular which are in West Asia, the three already
We have R times the summation of F over 10. Kasi decile tayo. So in here, R, of course, we are solving for the third decile. Take note of this. Third decile. Ayan. So therefore, R will be equal to 3. Take note of that. So this will be equal to 3 times the summation here. That's 50 over 10. What's the answer? What's the answer here? Type it in the chat box, please. Be with me in the solution. Very good. It's 15.
Sometimes you will hear,
That's 15. Take note of that. We will be using this for later.
we often say Middle East.
Okay, let me just color it so that we won't be lost. Next, letter B will be the lower bound of the decile class. The lower bound of the decile class. Sige nga, how do we get kasi the lower bound of the decile class? We had this last time. And one of your classmates have answered this. How do we get the lower bound of the decile class? Let me hear from you or type your answer in the chat box, please. How do we get the decile class or the lower bound of the decile class? Sige nga. How do we determine the decile class?
They were labeled by the European as Middle
Sige nga.
Eastern.
May kinalaman dyan yung nakuha nating value with A. The value in A, which is 15, has something to do with this.
West Asia.
Uh-huh.
Those whose parents or
Your letter A will help you. Okay. It says here, one of your classmates says, we need to identify first the decile class by looking at the greater number that we got from A. Very good. Our A is 15, right? And from here, we need to go back to our cumulative frequency. We need to go back to our cumulative frequency. And where can you find 15 here? Where can you find 15 here? Sige nga, type it in the chat box. Where can you find 15? Where is 15 in the cumulative frequency? Saan siya nakapagitan? In between what numbers? 15 is in between what numbers in the cumulative frequency? Type it in the chat box, please. Very good. Let's wait for the rest. Correct. Very good. 15 is in between. Let me change the color sa parkitable. 15 is in between 13 and 20. It's here, right? 15, which was taken from your letter A. Can you follow? So because of that, we will always get the bigger number or the next number after 15. And what's that next number? That's 20. 20. So therefore, this is our decile class. Yan. Wherever is that number greater than the value you got from letter A, that will be your decile class. Take note of that. So this is now your decile class. Okay. Now, lower bound, the lower bound of the decile class. Lower bound, you need to count from the word itself. Boundaries, lower bound. Where's the lower bound? 54.5 or 57.5? Type it in the chat box, please. Which is the lower bound? 54.5 or 57.5? Very good. Type your answers. Let's wait for the rest. Let's wait for the rest. What is the lower bound? 54.5 or 57.5? Yung mas mababa. That's 54.5. Very good. 54.5. That is your lower bound. Okay, see? You got that. Next, let's move on with letter C. For your letter C, this is the cumulative frequency. And how do we get this? Okay. Oh, dito naman, this is different. If in the decile class, you get the number greater than 15, in the quartile class, in the cumulative frequency naman, you need to get the lower value. And what is the lower value? Is it the 20 or 13? Which is the lower value? 13 or 20? It's 13. So that's what you will get, not 20. Because if you use 20, it will be wrong. Okay? Take note of the process. So that's 13. That's it. Okay? Next, let's have another. Next is letter D, the frequency of the decile class. Frequency of the decile class. This is just easy. The frequency of the decile class. Or you can actually name that word or that term based on the given letters. Frequency of the decile class. Of course, your decile class is this. We have marked it already. Yeah. Where's the frequency? Ayun, look at there. And where's that frequency? Wherever is that, whatever is the frequency of your decile class, that's it. So type the answer in the chat box, please. What is the frequency of your decile class? Very good. That's 7. 7 is the frequency of the decile class. And finally, for our letter E, cumulative, our interval, this is just easy. Para hindi na lang tayo paiba-iba ng data na ginagamit. Let's just use our decile class. But actually, whichever class boundaries, it's just the same. We just need to subtract our decile class boundaries para mas madali na lang. Actually, any part dyan, pare-pareho lang. So we have here 57.5 subtract minus 54.5. What's the answer? What's the answer for our interval? Type it in the chat box, please. What's the answer of our interval? Very good. 3 is our interval. Got it. Now that we have completed the 5 data, we can now move on with our formula. So for our formula, we have here D. Okay, let me just focus on this solution. Okay, there you go. So let's just substitute our values here. So our D, what are we solving here? 3, the third decile. So D3 is equal to LBDC. This is it. Just write it here. 54.5 plus summation of letter A. This is letter A. That's 15. This is it. Minus cumulative frequency. That's 13. Eto, this is the reason why we always need to get the lower, not the bigger, kasi you will have a negative value. Remember that. Kaya nga lower ito kasi ima-minus mo siya dito. So hindi pwedeng yung bigger ang kukunin mo kasi you will have a negative value. Take note of that. Okay? Now you know the reason why. And now over FDC, this is it. So we have 7. And then multiply it by our class interval, which is 3. O, sige nga, press this in your calculator. What's your third decile? Type it in the chat box, please. What is your third decile? Okay. One already has sent the answer. Let's wait for the rest. Okay, very good. Two already sent the answers. Let's wait for the rest. I need more answers from you.
Now, after reading and after hearing my beautiful voice, I hope
Okay.
you got inspired.
Continue answering. Yes, round off only to the nearest two decimal places. Okay, alin kaya ang tamang sagot? We have two versions of answers here. Let's wait for the rest. Tignan natin let's see who will get the most common answer. Okay, thank you so much.
The Lord is my shepherd.
Tingnan nga natin, how did they solve this? Of course, some might be confused with the process of solving this, but actually this is just easy. To continue with the process, so we have here 54.5 plus, in here, 15 minus 3, that's 2, over 7 times 3. So this will become 6 kasi over 1 to. So this will become D3. Here na lang. Is equal to 54.5 plus 6 over 7. So this will become 54.5 plus 6 over 7. 6 divided by 7 is 0.86. 0.8. 57 na lang para cute. 3 decimal places. Then when we add them, plus 54.5, the answer will be 55.36. Yan. 55.36 when we round it off. So that will be our third decile. Ayun. Kindly, to those who got different answers here, kindly discover what went wrong in your solution. Okay? So that's your third decile. So therefore, in here, we can conclude that